What's up, dudes? Welcome back to the vault. Another late one. My apologies, but I've been extremely busy this week. So having said that, the film I'll be reviewing this week, tonight, is Fast and Furious presents Hobbs&Shaw. So just jump straight into it. This one opens on some beautiful nighttime shots of London before we are thrown into the action in true Fast and Furious style. Big cast for this one. And I mean that both figuratively and literally. Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham both reprised their roles as Luke Hobbs and Deckard Shaw. Both bounce off of each other really well and have great chemistry. They are joined by the beautiful Vanessa Kirby, who is not only a badass as Shaw's sister, but also adds a touch of femininity to proceedings. Then there's our villain, Brixton, played by Idris Elba, as someone who has a score to settle. There are also some hilarious cameos from Kevin Hart and Ryan Reynolds, and a wonderful cameo from Dame Helen Mirren. The story for this one is, of course, a spin-off from the Fast and Furious franchise. It takes its two most bankable characters, I'd say, and weaves a story of action, technology, and buddy cop comedy. The story within the first 10 minutes outlays its main narrative and doesn't really go much off course throughout. There are no twists or turns, but the story still works despite that. Mostly it works because of the relationships brought by the three main characters. So the relationship between Hobbs and Shaw themselves, the relationship between Shaw and his sister, and interestingly enough, funnily enough, the relationship between Hobbs and Shaw's sister, which Shaw absolutely detests, just adds some comedy to proceedings. They keep all three of these characters, these actors, they keep the pace going from start to finish. The action set pieces are as crazy and physics defying as you'd come to expect from this franchise. You know, whether it's a train of cars trying to slowly bring down a single helicopter, or a pretty cool slow motion fight in the rain. One thing I've always appreciated about this series is that it steps up the action and excitement and adrenaline with each new film. This film will definitely not disappoint the action junkies out there in the audience. And another thing I really appreciated, might I add, was Brixton's suit and how it interacted with himself and his surroundings, especially his motorcycle, which would shift and spin and change to fit whatever dangerous situation Brixton found himself in, which was just a nice little touch. Let's talk about the incredibly talented director, David Leitch. Leitch is certainly style over substance, but I mean, that isn't really a bad thing. You know, as the man knows his way around an action set piece, and this is Fast and Furious, so if you're expecting award-winning writing, then you're going to be sorely disappointed. Where have you been living under a rock for the last few years? Each one is slick. Each action segment is slick, cool, and fun to watch. Each fight scene is perfectly choreographed, with nice little camera movements that really throw you into each fight. This is a man, who has brought us films like John Wick and Atomic Blonde. And those films were very heavily more action focused than story driven, so it's no surprise that the action, in this is just as entertaining and adrenaline pumping, as those two films, just, a truly talented director. And the only thing I learned from this was, The Rock doing the Haka, I've probably learned to pronounce that properly, is absolutely fucking terrifying. I would not want to meet him doing that in a dark alley. But there we have it. There's my very quick review for Fast and Furious presents Hobbs&Shaw. Let's jump to two most important questions. Question number one, would I recommend this film? Yeah, I would recommend this film. It is enjoyable. If you're a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise, then you will definitely enjoy this film. And even if you aren't such a mega fan, but you do still enjoy watching these films, then you probably more than likely will enjoy it. I mean, there's something for everyone in terms of the action. So for that reason, I probably would recommend it. Question number two: does this film belong in the vault? I mean, my main issue with this film was the script. It was just poorly written and even seemed lazily written at times. The Fast and Furious films, are never going to win awards for writing, but I certainly felt underwhelmed by this film. So for that reason, and because it didn't really excite me as, say, the films before it, when I really was expecting it to, I'm not going to put this film in the vault. There's that little turd star that's gone off. with a eyebrow raise from The Rock and a "you fucking what" from Jason Statham. So there we have it, guys. There's my review for Fast and Furious presents Hobbs&Shaw. If you've seen the film, as always, if you liked it, let me know why down in the comments below. If you hated it, let me know why down in the comments below. As always, guys, if you like what I'm doing here, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, your pets, your family, your friendly neighborhood villains. And until the next one, peace and love, my dudes.